Hello everybody, welcome to a rainy Monday. We have our warm-up, we've got vocabulary, which is a new prefix. We're going to do our flowers for Algernon reflection, and then you have an ed puzzle on direct and indirect objects. So we're going to revisit our launch question from 2 weeks ago when we started flowers for Algernon, and it is, what is it ethical to experiment on humans? As you answer this question, I want you to remember to make sure that you bring in flowers for Algernon and Charlie's experience. So as always, remember this is in the OneNote section, the warm-up section of your OneNote binder, and go ahead and pause the video here so you have time to answer your question. Now that you have that answered, I'd like for you to move to the root section of your binder. You're going to go into your Frayer model, and it should say Frayer sub. Our new prefix is sub, so please make sure your hyphen is only after the B, because sub will not be found in the middle or the end of a word. It is a prefix, so it'll always be found at the beginning. The definition is under and beneath. Since this is a prefix, it is in the beginning of the word. Some examples are subconscious, submarine, subliminal, submerge, and submissive. Subconscious is actually one of your concept vocabulary words. Your subconscious is what's kind of going on underneath your conscience. So your conscience is you being able to think and process things. Your subconscious is kind of what happens underneath that, where you don't really have to think about it for it to happen. A submarine is a vessel that goes underneath the water. So you guys can see that the definition of sub, under or beneath, is working in those words. Some non-examples then would just be the words from over here without sub, because your conscious is what's going on at the forefront of your brain, what you're thinking about, whereas your subconscious is kind of like what's happening behind the scenes. And then, of course, the water, marine, is not under anything. It's right there at the surface. So pause this video here and make sure you get your Frayer model filled out and completed. All right, so now that we have our Frayer model completed, I have a video on theme for you guys because we are going to reflect on flowers for Algernon. I want you to put yourself in Charlie's shoes. How would you be feeling if everything in your life changed? Throughout our first reads and our close reads of Flowers for Algernon, we were, analyzing how his point of view and our point of view was very different based on his level of intelligence and ours. So how would you feel as Charlie at the very end of the text if everything in your life was changing and you had no control over it? I just want you to think about that for a minute, because that's going to play into this theme that we go into. So again, just think about this for a minute. All right, I know if it were me, I'd be very frustrated. I'd almost be a little angry because I like to be in control of things. And if everything around me was changing and I had no control over it, I would be very frustrated. So what we're going to do is we're going to recap on theme. I'm going to play this out for you. We're only going to watch the first 4 minutes, and then I'll show you what your job is on your own.
What's the theme?
All right, sorry guys, technical difficulties. Give me 1 second.
You don't know what a theme is?
Your fifth grade teacher ain't taught you nothing? We gonna talk about what a theme is. Yo, there's been here, and today is all about themes. So if you're a little hazy on the whole what is a theme thing, stay tuned, because I'm gonna confuse the hell out of you. Totally kidding. I wouldn't do that to you guys. I love you guys. So I guess we should probably start with, what is a theme? Maybe definition. Theme, a central idea in a piece of writing or other work of art. You can think of it as the meaning, the life lesson, or the moral of the story. Themes don't have character names and plot details in them. When we're talking about themes, we're talking about a universal concept that is much bigger than the characters or the story that you create. These abstract ideas or observations can be applied to, well, everybody. Me, you, this guy. Well, maybe not that guy. Theme is more or less the writer or filmmaker's message to the audience. Any good film or screenplay can have many themes. Some themes are insanely obvious and others are more subtle. For example, you could say that a theme for Finding Nemo is through friendship you can overcome your fears and insecurities. Doesn't have a character, doesn't mention any plot points, and it's a universal concept. Can be applied to me, you, or this guy. What theme isn't? Well, a theme is not communicated in one word. It's about love, friendship, family. These aren't really themes, they're just subjects or topics. However, you can use the subject to help you find a theme. Themes are observations, opinions, or ideas about the subject of a movie. For example, the subject of a movie could be revenge, but the theme could be revenge destroys everything and everyone, including the person seeking. How do you find a theme? Well, there are a few different ways. Let's talk about that. One, look at your protagonist's journey. How does your main character change throughout the course of the story? What do they learn? If you substitute your main character for, say, all of mankind, then your protagonist's journey and how they change can be a theme. For example, in Iron Man, Tony Stark begins the film as a naive war profiteer, but over the course of the film, he realizes the destructive impact of his actions and takes full responsibility for them. So based on his character arc, you could say that a theme is, we must all take responsibility for our own actions because at the end of the day, nobody else will. And another theme could be, no matter how many mistakes you've made, it's never too late to set things right. Two, look at the central conflict of the story. What are the opposing forces? Which one wins? And if so, why? And by forces, I mean the more abstract, generalized definition. For example, in The Terminator, the two opposing forces are man and machine. You could say that the theme is, no matter how advanced our creations become, they can never replace the human spirit. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger was all swole up with his, metal skeleton and everything, but I mean, we still won. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I love you, bro, but you lost. Machines took an L. 3. Sometimes a character can just flat out state a theme of the movie. Doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. For example, in The Incredibles, just before Bob tries to fight the Omnibot alone at the climax, his wife Helen says this.
I'm asking you to wait with the kids.
And I'm telling you, not a chance. You're my husband, I'm with you. For better or worse, if we work together, you won't have to be.
So if you've seen the movie, you understand that Bob has had trouble embracing this whole marriage/family thing, and his wife Helen is pretty much outright flat saying, if we work together, we can conquer anything. Thing?
With family and marital unity, anything is possible.
Boom! That was actually kind of good. I like the way I worded that one. Write that one down. No, you want to avoid being too vague or obvious with your themes.
For example, family is awesome. Love is blind. Love conquers all. Friendship is important.
Yeah, I'm just not digging those.
There's more.
It's worth mentioning.
All right. So as he had mentioned, our theme, we want to make sure that it's more than just one or two words. It is specific, but it does not have characters, names, or specific events in the sentence itself. So if you log on to Schoology and look at our course, your job is to complete the development of theme activity and then the direct and indirect objects Edpuzzle. So when you go into the development of theme, remember it'll say My Document right here. You'll click into it. This part should already be filled out for you, and you're going to answer questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on your own. All of these questions are centered around the idea of theme and point of view developing the theme. Remember, the way Charlie saw things and the way he communicated it to us through either first person point of view, first person naive point of view, or third person point of view really developed the theme or the lesson that was learned throughout the text. So when you're finished, you'll click out, and then remember you'll click submit assignment. It is worth 10 points, so please make sure that you do submit it. And then last but not least, you'll click on direct and indirect objects, and your Edpuzzle should pop right up. So please make sure that you get all of that turned in, and I can't wait to see what you wrote. Missed you today.